You've heard of Thor's mighty hammer, Mjolnir, haven't you? You've heard tales of his heroic deeds, of his battles against giants and monsters. And we all know of Odin, god of wisdom and magic, the one who sacrificed an eye to gain knowledge, who delved into the deepest mysteries of existence. But beyond these legendary figures, there exists a pantheon of Norse gods and goddesses whose stories have been whispered down through the ages. Today, I want to tell you about 5 such deities, 5 Norse gods you were never told about. Their stories might not be as widely known, but their importance in the Norse pantheon is undeniable. So let's take a journey back in time, explore the realm of Norse mythology, and uncover the stories of these lesser-known gods. 5. Vidar, the Silent Avenger. Let's start with Vidar. In Norse mythology, he was the son of Odin and the god of vengeance. Unlike his father Odin, who was associated with wisdom and the use of magic, or Thor, who was celebrated for his strength and courage, Vidar was shrouded in mystery. His name itself means the Silent One, hinting at the enigmatic nature of this god. Yet, despite his silence, Vidar was a force to be reckoned with. He was the god of vengeance, taking on the responsibility of avenging wrongs and protecting those who couldn't protect themselves. It wasn't just brute strength that made him formidable, but also his strategic brilliance and his ability to remain hidden until the perfect moment for revenge arrived. This quality of his made him truly terrifying, as his enemies would never see him coming until it was too late. Although he may not be as famous as some other Norse gods, Vidar played a crucial role in maintaining balance in the Norse pantheon. He was the silent guardian, the quiet protector, always ready to strike back when the scales of justice tipped out of balance. Now you might be thinking, why should we care about a vengeful god from a distant mythology? Well, let me tell you, the lessons from these ancient tales are timeless. Vidar teaches us that strength doesn't always come in the form of loud proclamations or overt displays of power. Sometimes it comes in quiet determination and calculated action. It's a reminder to never underestimate the power of patience and strategy. Vidar's story is also a testament to the idea that everyone, no matter how seemingly insignificant, can be a powerful force for good. In a world where might makes right is often the motto, Vidar stands as a beacon of hope, showing that even the quietest among us can become the loudest heroes. Next, let's talk about Hoder. Now, imagine being so powerful that you rule over one of the most fundamental aspects of nature, darkness. That was the domain of Hoder, the blind god of darkness in Norse mythology. Yes, you heard it right, blind. Now, how could a god of such a powerful element be blind? Well, that's part of what makes Norse mythology so fascinating. Hoder wasn't just any god. He was the son of Odin and the half-brother of Balder, the embodiment of light. You know, that stark contrast between light and darkness already hints at the kind of struggle Hoder must have faced. But his story takes another sharp turn with his blindness. You might wonder, how can a deity associated with darkness be blind? Isn't darkness the absence of light? Well, in Norse mythology, it's a little more complex than that. Darkness for Hoder wasn't just the absence of light, it was an entity in itself, a powerful force that could be manipulated, controlled, and respected. Being blind wasn't a weakness for Hoder, it was a different way of perceiving the world. It allowed him to tune into the subtle energies of the universe, to feel the pulse of the cosmos in a way that the rest of the gods couldn't. It made him deeply intuitive, deeply empathetic, and in many ways, deeply wise. Even in his blindness, Hoder wasn't powerless. In fact, he was incredibly powerful, ruling over the realm of darkness with an iron fist. So why should you care about a blind god of darkness? Well, because Hoder's story challenges our perceptions, our preconceived notions about what it means to be powerful, about what it means to be a god. He teaches us that power comes in many forms, and that our limitations can often be our greatest strengths if we choose to see them that way. Hoder is a reminder that sometimes it's in the darkness that we find the greatest wisdom, the greatest strength, and the greatest understanding of ourselves and the world around us. Moving on, let's talk about Braggi. When we think of Norse mythology, we usually picture epic battles, fearsome monsters, and gods with superhuman strength and powers. But Braggi was a god who stood out from the crowd. He was the god of poetry, eloquence, and, most interestingly, memory. Braggi wasn't just a poet himself. He was the patron of poets, the inspirer of bards, the protector of stories and memories. In a time when stories were the primary mode of preserving history and culture, Braggi's role was invaluable. He wasn't a warrior god, but his influence was no less significant. The poets of Scandinavia looked up to him, seeking his favor to enhance their skills, to be granted the gift of the inspired word. And those who invoked Braggi's name believed that he would help them remember even the most intricate and complicated poems. So why should you care about a god of poetry and memory? Well, let's think about it. In today's world, we often forget the importance of stories and memories. We live in a time where information is readily available at the click of a button. But it's easy to overlook the human element, the personal narratives that make us who we are. Braggi reminds us of the power of stories, not just as a means of entertainment, but as a way to understand our past, our present, and our future. He teaches us that remembering our history, our personal histories, and the histories of our cultures is not just important, it's essential to our growth as individuals and as societies. In an age where technology threatens to erase the beauty of human connection, Braggi stands as a beacon, reminding us of the importance of stories, memories, and the art of eloquence. And next, let's discuss Oller. In the grand tapestry of Norse mythology, where gods wielded powers over thunder, wisdom, and death, Oller was a bit of an anomaly. He was a god of the winter, hunting and skiing. While his influence might not have been as earth-shattering as some of his fellow deities, Oller was nonetheless an integral part of the Norse pantheon. You see, while the other gods were busy shaping the fates of mortals with cosmic importance, Oller had his hands full with more earthly concerns, teaching humans the art of skiing, ensuring successful hunts, and blessing those who respected the winter. Why should you care about a god of winter and hunting? Well, let me tell you, Oller's role was more critical than it might seem at first glance. For the Norse people, the winter was a harsh, unforgiving season. It was a time when the land turned barren and food was scarce. Oller was the god who helped them navigate this season, who taught them how to survive, how to thrive even in the face of such adversity. And then there's hunting. It wasn't just a sport for the Norsemen. It was a necessity, a means of survival. Oller was the god who watched over hunters, who ensured that their aim was true and that their prey was plentiful. He represented the respect and reverence the Norse people had for nature, for the animals they hunted. In a world where we often focus on the big, grandiose aspects of life, Oller teaches us the importance of the small, seemingly mundane things. He reminds us to appreciate the beauty of winter, to respect the natural world around us, and to find joy and sustenance in the simple things in life. After all, as the old saying goes, it's the little things in life that count. Finally, we come to Forseti, the god whose name literally means the silent judge. Now you might be thinking, why would a god of law and justice be silent? Well, in the realm of Norse mythology, Forseti's silence was anything but passive. It was a symbol of his deep wisdom, his ability to see the complexities of a situation without being swayed by emotions or external pressures. As the son of Odin and the brother of Balder, Forseti was born into a world of both great wisdom and profound sorrow. His father Odin was the god of wisdom and magic, while his brother Balder was the embodiment of light and joy. Yet Balder's untimely death at the hands of Loki plunged the whole Norse pantheon into despair. What does a god of justice do in such a situation? Well, Forseti took it upon himself to settle the disputes that arose after Balder's death, demonstrating his commitment to the rule of law and order. And it wasn't just about settling arguments. Forseti was the guardian of divine law. He made sure that the other gods adhered to the norms and customs of their society. He was a symbol of fairness, impartiality, and righteousness. So why should you care about a silent god of law? Well, let me tell you. Forseti's story is a powerful reminder of the importance of justice and rule of law. In a world where chaos and disorder seem to be the norm, where imbalances and power struggles are commonplace, Forseti stands as a beacon of hope. He teaches us that even in the darkest of times, there is always a need for justice, for fairness, and for those who uphold the law. His story is a testament to the strength and importance of our legal and judicial systems, systems that, like Forseti, strive to bring balance and harmony to our societies. And that concludes our journey through the world of Norse mythology and the stories of 5 gods you were never told about. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to subscribe for more fascinating tales from the Echoes of the Past series. Each episode takes you deeper into the rich, complex world of mythology, exploring stories and characters that have stood the test of time. So join us and let your journey through the echoes of the past begin.